So the way I've seen him handle my presence is he's definitely scared of me. You know, if you have a fighter talking so much trash in front of you, why don't you make an example of him to the world? Beat me in the ring and make a whole lot of money.
I feel like Canelo's that's just my opinion, because if we ever fight, the man is making well over $100 million. You know what I mean? If, let's say, he's saying that I don't have nothing to offer, that I'm nobody, that I need more experience, this and that. If you're gonna make $100 million fighting somebody that has no experience, that he sucks, this and that, all this shit that they've been talking about me, why would you not come beat my ass and collect a big bag?
David Benavidez went all in once again, unleashing a harsh verbal attack on Canelo Alvarez in a recent interview, accusing him of avoiding the fight out of fear. Benavidez didn't hold back, insisting the reason Canelo won't step in the ring with him is simple: he's scared. He questioned how it makes sense for Canelo to reportedly turn down a $150 million offer to face him while still taking on opponents seen as less dangerous. The situation, according to him, only adds to the confusion, pointing out that Canelo is stepping in with names like Williams or Skull for big paydays, yet allegedly passing on a massive opportunity to face the undefeated Benavidez.
Scared of me, man.
There's no way.
They wanted to pay Canelo 150, he ain't won it.
150 mil.
150, he ain't won it.
I mean, it's gonna mess up his legacy a little. It's another loss on the record.
The Mexican monster poured cold water on the hype surrounding Canelo Alvarez, accusing him of consistently choosing safer opponents. Benavidez argued that while Canelo has dominated smaller fighters, he hasn't looked as comfortable against stronger, naturally bigger competition like Dimitri Bivol. In his view, that is the real reason Canelo is avoiding the fight. He emphasized that it's not just about records, but about his power, intensity, and relentless pressure, which he believes Canelo sees as a serious threat.
Canelo Alvarez, as you can see from every time he fights a guy that's big with power, like Bivol, you know what I mean? And he's not able to suppress these fighters as much as he's able to suppress the little fighters. You know what I mean? So he sees a lot of things in me that he can't stop. You know, not only does he see speed, does he see power, but he sees a lot of heart in me. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm going in there and I want to prove myself to the world that I'm the greatest fighter. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't scare me to get in there with another great fighter, because I know that elevates me and who I am as a competitor. So that's I know for a fact that he sees in me. At the end of the day, he should have took the fight with me way back then, because if he had a chance to beat me, it would have been back then.
The belief in Benavidez isn't just talk. It's supported by voices like Max Kellerman. He pointed to David Benavidez as the one fighter who could genuinely push Canelo Alvarez into deep, uncomfortable waters inside the ring. Kellerman explained that Benavidez's style presents one of the biggest stylistic challenges for Canelo, and in his view, that is the kind of matchup Canelo would be most concerned about losing.
I'm able to deal with these bigger shows better. You know what I mean? I'm able to thrive in these shows. I'm able to, every time I fight, I'm always winning by a significant amount. You know what I mean? So I'm learning my craft better and better each and every single fight. I'm gaining more confidence every single fight. And like I said, I really want to go in there and hurt people. I'm not a boxer. I'm a warrior, and I go in there, I tear everybody up.
I agree, by the way, with that analysis. I think Canelo's best chance to get you was when you were on your way up. And to be honest, David, I didn't think you took it as seriously then as you do now, the way Floyd caught Canelo on Canelo's way up. Now it's more of a problem. One of the things, guys, real quick, no one's ever beaten Canelo with Benavidez type style. The guys who beat Canelo move, right? Who has ever brought it to Canelo, because he's such a great counterpuncher also, and beaten him that?
On one side stands the force of David Benavidez. On the other is Terence Crawford, a legend who hasn't shied away from exchanging verbal shots with him. Following his victory over Canelo, Crawford sat down with Stephen A. Smith to discuss what could come next. When the possibility of facing Benavidez came up, Crawford responded sharply, immediately sparking debate. He questioned whether Benavidez could even make the super middleweight limit, casting doubt on whether the fight could realistically happen.
We're at 168. When we think about anybody at 168 outside of Canelo, the first name that comes to anybody's mind is David Benavidez. What about the potential for a fight like that?
Oh, like I said, man, that's a big dude. You know what I mean? He ain't even at 168. You know, when you look
at not now, at 175, yeah.
He probably can't even make 168. No. But then, when you look at these fights, you know, especially coming up, you gotta be realistic. You gotta, you know, say, all right, you know, how big is this dude really is? Because David Benavidez, he can fight his ass off, you know. And I told him that a long time. I told him that when, you know what I mean, before I fought his brother. And I said, man, dude, you can fight, dude. You gonna.
Even with that said, Terence Crawford made it clear that David Benavidez is a serious threat to anyone in the division. He pointed out that Benavidez's size and natural weight present major problems for most fighters. Crawford suggested this could be one reason Canelo Alvarez has never stepped in the ring with him, hinting that Canelo might genuinely be concerned about getting overwhelmed by Benavidez's pressure while choosing other opponents instead. His remarks only deepen the intrigue for fans, raising a bigger question. Is the superstar being cautious with bigger fighters, or is the aura around him starting to fade?
But the dude gonna come in at like 200, 210, you know what I mean? I get why Canelo, you know, was like, I don't need to fight this dude because, you know, he can take a punch, he gonna come in there and gonna just lay on you and bulldoze you, you know?
Right.
And Canelo just didn't want that, you know what I mean, work. But me personally, I believe in my skills and my ability that I can beat anybody.
Meanwhile, Canelo Alvarez is still holding out hope for a rematch with Terence Crawford. After being outclassed in their first encounter, Canelo now appears frustrated that a second fight hasn't materialized. Focused on redemption, he has sent a clear message to Crawford, urging him to run it back. Canelo admitted that hearing talk of Crawford potentially retiring didn't excite him and instead disappointed him. In his view, the story between them is not finished, and he remains determined to secure a rematch and prove himself.
I always give all his credit, no? But we need to run it back. That's why my tough. When after the fight, I say we need to run it back this fight because I don't feel the way I really want, and I need to make this fight happen again, no? And it's gonna be different. I think for him to deserve all the credit, he need to give me the rematch, obviously. But I will. He decided to retire, and we need to.
But Canelo's push for a rematch hasn't gained much traction. Terence Crawford has already dismissed the idea, making it clear he doesn't believe Canelo has earned another opportunity right now. He advised that if Canelo wants to rebuild his legacy, he should focus on different opponents instead of chasing a second fight. Crawford emphasized that his style poses serious danger for Canelo, something he feels was already proven. From his perspective, if Canelo wants to avoid further punishment, the smarter move would be to move on rather than insist on a rematch.
Question for you that I think everyone wants to know. Is there going to be a Canelo rematch? Is there a rematch clause? That's something you're thinking about?
I'm not even thinking about that right now. And quite frankly, I don't think it is a rematch clause. And if it is, nothing has been said to me about fighting them again or anything.
Do you think Canelo would want to get back in the ring with you? Or do you think it's better for him to just or more lucrative to go fight elsewhere for the rest of his career?
I think it would be better for him to fight somebody else because my style is just, a bad matchup for him. Now, financially wise, I would be like, yeah, he should fight me. But like on the outside looking in, knowing boxing, you can really get hurt. So I would just tell him, like, if you're going to continue to fight, I'm getting in the ring with a guy like that.
At the same time, the question raised by Terence Crawford continues to hang in the air. Can David Benavidez even make 168 again? Crawford doesn't believe so, but Benavidez fired back, insisting he could still reach that weight if necessary. However, he also made it clear that 168 now belongs to Crawford and he has no desire to return there. Benavidez said he is fully settled at 175, chasing even bigger challenges and targeting names like Bivol and Beterbiev. And as he reminded everyone, no matter who stands across from him, they shouldn't forget who is stepping into the ring, the Mexican monster.
You still make 168.
To be honest with you, man, let Terence Crawford live. That's his weight class.
Okay.
I lost interest in 168 a long time ago. I mean, I know that we could get offered a lot of money to go down to 168, but I'm more comfortable at 175. I'm chasing Beterbiev. I'm chasing Bivol. I'm chasing these other bigger. I'm chasing Zurdo Ramirez at cruiserweight. You know what I mean? So I've been at 168, but I have no interest in going down.
Dude's a maniac. Who chases Beterbiev and Bivol? Who chases Beterbiev and Bivol? What's wrong with you?
And you're looking at the one that's gonna chase all of them. Like these guys are monsters, but this is the monsters world.
At the same time, David Benavidez has a huge fight lined up against Zurdo Ramirez, with the stakes extremely high. One fighter keeping a close eye on it is Jai Opetaia, who is already thinking about a potential future clash with Benavidez. Sharing his thoughts on the matchup, Opetaia described it as fairly even in terms of skill, but questioned whether Ramirez has the same level of hunger. In his view, Benavidez's pride, legacy, and relentless pressure could make this a very difficult night for Ramirez.
You got to remember both these boys have come up.
Yeah.
You know, so they're both. It's crazy that there's two light heavyweights fighting for a cruiserweight world title right now. So, you know, they're both coming up from a weight. So it's an even matchup when I see it. You know, I think I don't know too much about Zurdo, to be honest. You know what I mean? He's a good fighter, and you know, I've never thought he was a bad fighter or anything like that. But I actually like Benavidez's headspace, and he seems like he's got hungry, and he's you know, he's sort of more chasing.
Giving his prediction, Jai Opetaia leans toward David Benavidez coming out on top against Zurdo Ramirez. Still, he made it clear he is not overly focused on the result itself. In his view, once that fight is over, attention will quickly shift to what comes next. Opetaia believes the outcome could set up a major showdown, and he is confident that the fight he has been waiting for could finally become a reality.
That you know, the last name, and you know, he talks about a journey with his old man, which I don't know much about Zurdo, so I don't want to I'm not bad mouthing, but
yeah,
just the legacy of, you know, why he's doing it, and he's just pumped up and he's younger and like that, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm sort of leaning towards Benavidez, but honestly, I don't really care. You know what I mean? I just want.
David Benavidez is already back in the gym, pushing harder than ever and leaving nothing to chance as he prepares for his upcoming fight with Zurdo Ramirez. Training footage shows him working with serious intent, with sharp hand speed and explosive combinations on the pads. What stands out most is the raw power behind each shot, as he looks intensely focused, aggressive, and motivated to deliver a career-defining performance. Their upcoming clash is already being hyped as a massive showdown, especially by those who have seen both fighters in sparring. It is shaping up to be a major pay-per-view event, with many experts leaning toward Benavidez due to the advantages he holds in several key areas. Analysts are predicting an all-out war, but still favor Benavidez to come out on top, expecting him to impose his pressure and control the fight. Despite Zurdo Ramirez's skill and championship experience, many believe he will struggle to deal with the relentless pace and intensity of the Mexican monster.
Not even competitive? No, not at all. Not at all. He will beat Ramirez. Hands are too fast, too tricky, too crafty. He's too busy. Downstairs, upstairs, downstairs, upstairs. David Benavidez is just too good of a fighter.
Combinations. Like, what's wrong with him?
And this is not to discredit Ramirez, who's a real champion. He's a guy that has been a champion in different divisions. He's a big guy. He won't beat Benavidez. David Benavidez will win that fight big. Trust me, I'm saying it now. He'll win that fight massive, which will make the Jai fight even bigger.
I mean, maybe we'll see a different side of Ramirez because, you know, even Benavidez says that their sparring sessions were like, you know, pay-per-views.
The consequences for Ramirez could be harsh and decisive. While Benavidez and Ramirez have already shared sparring rounds, boxing analysts are now labeling the upcoming fight as heavily one-sided. Many predict Ramirez could be dominated from the opening bell or pressured relentlessly across every round by David Benavidez. This only highlights the level of power, pace, and skill Benavidez brings into the ring, making him a fighter that few would confidently bet against in this matchup.
Now, I do understand that Ramirez probably has more wear and tear on him, and he's older. So everyone's going to lead towards Benavidez, but I still think it's a good fight.
I'm going to start calling it like I see it. I'm not going to be politically correct anymore. I'm going to be respectful, but I'm going to say there's no way Ramirez is beating David Benavidez, and I'm saying it flat out. And I'm not saying it to not tune in. Anything can happen in that fight, but this is what's going to happen.
I mean, everybody's going to be leaning that way, so that's not nothing.
No, I'm saying it's not going to be competitive. It won't be competitive.
Damn, not even competitive?
No, not at all. Not at all. In no
so
round.
Is he going to get blown out in the first round?
He's just going to get either blown out of the first round or washed every single.
Having trained extensively with both David Benavidez and Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, Rosado shared his insights ahead of their upcoming clash. He has worked with Benavidez since he was a teenager and also spent time with Ramirez at the Wild Card Boxing Club, giving him a close-up view of both fighters' styles. According to Rosado, while both have strong skill sets and rhythm, there is a clear contrast in approach. Benavidez brings unmatched intensity and aggression in sparring, while Ramirez relies more on a measured, calculated style.
And Benavidez, like, you know, we spar a number of times, man. I almost count how many times I've sparred those dudes, because I've been sparring Benavidez since he was like 15, when I used to do my training camps in Arizona, in Phoenix. So I would work with him, and then he eventually then would come to Wild Card, and then we'd work at Wild Card. And same with Zuldo. But, you know, the difference I would say is, you know, Zuldo is more, he's more on working on things, you know what I'm saying? And Benavidez is just more, you know, he goes aggressive, you know what I'm saying? And Zuldo does like 10 rounds of sparring. So,
okay.
I mean, I'm sorry, Benavidez.
Yeah, okay,
Benavidez does. So, yeah, man, I think the intensity is just different between them.
Rosado highlighted that Benavidez maintains an extremely high work rate in the gym, often going full intensity for 10 rounds, which sets him apart from Ramirez. In contrast, Ramirez focuses more on technical adjustments and pacing. This difference, combined with Benavidez's relentless aggression, makes him the favorite going into the fight. Rosado believes that for Ramirez to have any chance, he will need to be in peak condition, execute flawless boxing, and deliver his absolute best to deal with Benavidez's power and non-stop pressure.
The thing is, like, since I sparred with them for so long, we always had good rhythm working together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was very similar to each other. So, but yeah, man, it's really good, man. I think it's a tough fight. I think shit, man, you know, you gotta favor Benavidez just because of the volume.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The volume. And I think Zuldo's gonna have to be on his A game. Like, it's gonna have to be the best Zuldo in order for him to beat Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna have to really box well, stick a jab out there, and be into.
David Benavidez is back with full force, hungry, relentless, and looking unstoppable. He continues calling out Canelo Alvarez and positioning himself as a serious threat to anyone in the ring. Terence Crawford has also warned about Benavidez's power, while Zurdo Ramirez faces a major challenge ahead. Experts and sparring partners alike favor Benavidez, praising his speed, strength, and non-stop aggression. The big question now is, can anyone stand up to the Mexican monster?